Gadadhar Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So, Hare Krishna, we are going to continue reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 6, chapter 16. Does anyone remember what we read yesterday? Sneha, you want to say something? What we read yesterday?
Hare Krishna, we read that everything is manifested by the energy of the Supreme Lord, Krishna. Permanent reality is Krishna. The Lord is the creator of the material world. The origin of the material creation is Mahavishnu, who lies in the causal ocean. Then from Mahavishnu comes Garbhodakshay Vishnu and Shirodakshay Vishnu. Right? And then false ego um, is the body. So when we say false ego, we mean it's the body. So the true ego is when we say we are the servitor of Lord Krishna. So I think till there I can remember. And then we spoke about the Chatur view, like the first Chatur view, second Chatur view.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. So, we are going to continue reading the prayers that Citraketu is offering to Lord Shankarshan, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So he's been glorifying the Lord in so many ways. Thank you. And then we continue. Let's see, how would this go? Kama diyastvai rachita.
Kamadiyasvairachita
Na parama rohanti yathakaram bhavijani.
na
न
parama rohanti yatha
यथा
karamabhijani
करमभिजानी
Jnanatmani agunmaye.
jnanatmani
ज्ञानात्मनि
agunamaye
अगुणमये
Guna ganatosya dvandva jalani.
gunagano
नो
ganantu yasya
अस्य
dvandva jalani.
जलानि
In translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. O Supreme Lord, I'm sorry, if persons obsessed with material desires for sense gratification through material opulence worship you, who are the source of all knowledge and are transcendental to material qualities, they are not subject to material rebirth, just as sterilized or fried seeds do not produce plants. The living entities are subjected to the repetition of birth and death because they're conditioned by material nature. But since you are transcendental, one who's inclined to associate with you in transcendence escapes the conditions of material nature. So in the purport, Srila Prabhupada is saying this is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 4.9, wherein the Lord says, Janma karma chame divyam, evam yoveti tattvataha, tyaktva deham punarjanma, naiti mameti swarjana. One who knows the transcendental nature of my appearance and activities does not, upon leaving the body, take his birth again in this material world, but attains my eternal abode, O Arjuna. So we can see Krishna, he wants us to come back as quickly as possible to the spiritual world. He does not want us to continue loitering in the material world. And this is the reason he comes. He comes himself, he brings his devotees, he brings his Vrindavan Dham, and he performs beautiful pastimes just so that we can understand him. And just by understanding that Krishna's form is transcendental, Krishna's leelas are transcendental, we can go to the transcendental world, we can go to the spiritual world. Don't need to come back to this material world. If one simply engages in Krishna consciousness to understand Krishna, he surely becomes immune to the process of repeated birth and death. As clearly stated in Bhagavad Gita, Tyaktva Deham Punarjanma Naiti. Such a person, simply by engaging in Krishna consciousness or understanding the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna, becomes quite fit to return home back to Godhead. Even those who are obsessed with material desires may also come to worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead so steadily that they go back to Godhead. So Prabhupada is saying that we may have material desires, but yet we are encouraged to worship Krishna. And in this way, we can also gradually become purified, gradually understand we have a relationship with Krishna and go back to the spiritual world. Does anyone remember which verse can we refer this to in Bhagavatam? Those who are obsessed with material desires may also come to worship Supreme Personality of Godhead. Bhagavatam verse? No? Akama sarva kamava. That one may have all desires, one may have no desires, one may have desire for liberation. Yet one is encouraged to take up devotional service to Krishna. Okay, the fact is that if one comes to Krishna consciousness, although he may have many material desires, he becomes increasingly attracted to the lotus feet of Krishna through associating with the Supreme Lord by chanting his holy name. The Supreme Lord and his holy name are identical. Thus, he becomes uninterested in attachment to material enjoyment. So, Krishna and his name, non-different, identical. Krishna has kindly appeared to us in the form of his holy name. He has kindly made himself accessible to us by giving us this holy name. And so when we are chanting the holy name, we are associating with Krishna. And association is like that. No, whoever we associate, we take on that quality. You know, birds of a feather flock together, we say. Or Jaisa sang vaisa rang, we say, right? That who you associate with, you kind of become like them. So when we are chanting the holy name, we are associating with Krishna. Then we can also revive our godly qualities. We can never become God. Only God is God. But we can revive our godly qualities. We can revive our relationship with Krishna. So in that way, then we can give up our attachment to the material world, get more and more attached to Krishna. Because we can never become desireless, always have desires. Just we have to change our desire. So thus he becomes uninterested in attachment to material enjoyment. The perfection of life is to be uninterested in material enjoyment and interested in Krishna. So what is it that Prabhupada is saying? What's the perfection of life here?
Association with the holy name.
Uh-huh.
To engage in devotional
Yeah.
service.
That's right. And then engage in devotional service, associate with the holy name, and then what happens? We will become uninterested to enjoy the material world, and we will become attached to Krishna. And that is the perfection of life, to revive our attachment for Krishna. You know, right now we have attachment for so many things. But wouldn't it be so nice if we were attached to Krishna? Or somehow or the other, get attached to Krishna. If one comes to Krishna consciousness somehow or the other, even for material gain, the result is that he will be liberated. So one may think that, oh, I have so many material desires. No, I cannot worship Krishna. No, we are encouraged. Yes, coming to Krishna is great fortune, even if we have material desires. Still come to Krishna. Krishna will fulfill our material desires. He will also bring us to the spiritual world. Kamad, Veshad, Bhayat, Snehat. I'm sorry, whether for the satisfaction of material desires, because of the influence of envy, because of fear, because of affection, or because of any other reason, if one comes to Krishna, his life is successful. So Prabhupada is saying we may have any kind of personal agenda, ulterior motive in coming to Krishna. We may have material desires, we may be envious, we may be fearful, or affection, or any reason may bring us to Krishna. But if one comes to Krishna, one is glorious because Krishna will give us perfection. Then our life is perfect.
Yeah, Shilpari Krishna, is it His grace on us that we have the love for Him, or is it that we have to endeavor? That's one question.
So see, love for Krishna is there in our hearts. It's there in all of us hearts, but we have forgotten it. And so that's why now we have to endeavor. Like, you know, the story Damodar Lila. We sing for 1 month. So both are needed. We have to endeavor. Yashoda Mai endeavored. And looking at her endeavor, Krishna allowed himself to be bound. So both.
Because you
Both are
see,
needed.
like people don't have, right? Many times you don't find people have any that love. So there's is it the grace, His grace, that we have that inclination? That's my
Right.
question.
Then, how one begins devotional service. One comes in touch with a devotee.
Devotee, right?
Yeah, coming in contact with a devotee. That is so important. And then when one comes in touch with devotee, regularly does some sukriti, agyata sukriti, does some service, then that brings us more to engage in devotional service and brings us into hearing and chanting. So first, the association of devotee is important. Somehow or the other, associate with the devotees. And that's why we see that the devotees are kind. They go out on the streets chanting, giving out books, to give this good fortune to everyone. Is that okay?
Yeah.
And then one may say, oh, well, the good fortune is being given to everyone, but somebody is coming, somebody is not coming.
Not coming, yeah.
So sometimes what happens is some soil takes little longer. It will come. Maybe not now, maybe in future in the life, or maybe in next life, because it's never going to be lost. So it will come.
So His grace has to
through
be
the
there, right? The Lord's grace
the
also.
grace of the devotee. Guru
Devotee.
Krishna Prasade Paya Bhakti Lata Bij. Because Krishna himself, he's not, his devotees are the ones who are giving out freely Krishna consciousness. Of course, Krishna's grace is needed, but the devotees, they are not choosing anyone, they're just simply giving Krishna consciousness to everyone. Lord Chaitanya says, right, Guru Krishna Prasade Paya Bhakti Lata Bij. So yeah, Krishna's grace is needed. Devotee's grace is also needed to be getting. Make sense?
Yeah, because you see, right, like people, many, like they're not interested at all to study or to when it comes to praying. So that's I'm just wondering that is it the grace has to be there, right?
Grace also, but also the desire has to be there.
Hare Krishna. I
Because
remember
our desires are important. I'm sorry. Yes, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. I remember, once you said that we have to be the example. So if we are the right example as a devotee, then they can see through us, and our touch can help them to, come, bring them to Krishna. And then once they come to Krishna, then we heard yesterday, day before, how the reciprocation happens and his grace comes through us. So if we are a good example as a devotee, then we can bring them to Krishna, and then the reciprocation happens on its own. How much they love him, he will love them back. The grace keeps exchanging more and more.
Yeah, it's true. But we can, of course, like try our best. What Sneha is trying to say is sometimes you may be a good example, but you may not be able to influence another,
Yeah, because
because
they are,
again comes free
yeah,
will. Again, the
yeah,
question of free will is there, desire
yeah,
is there. Somebody may really not have the desire, not have the inclination at all,
yeah. Like you said now that someone's soil is they'll take longer to get there, but they will.
Yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah. It may not
Hare
happen now. It may happen in the next life.
Hare Krishna, Shilpaji. Is it that like when the devotees ask Srila Prabhupada that what is our qualification? Why are we getting this mercy? How? What we have done? What Sukriti we have done in our previous life that we are able to get this? When they asked him in USA, right? So this example suits here, that part of Srila Prabhupada,
Yes,
right?
yes,
Yeah.
that's right. Prabhupada said, I am making you Sukriti,
Yeah.
because they were doing service for Srila Prabhupada. So that's why they were getting more and more attracted to take up Krishna consciousness. They were getting more and more attracted to hear and chant. Yes, they were
So
doing
the
service.
association is very, very important. Yeah.
Very important. Yeah, very important. Bhagavatam says, right, when we do service to a devotee, then what happens? We get the desire to hear about Krishna. And then when one begins to hear about Krishna, chant his name, then Krishna, who's within the heart, he starts cleaning our heart. So, yeah, mercy of the devotee is
Mercy.
important. Association. That's what they say, right? Sadhu Sangha, Sadhu
Yeah.
Sangha, Sarva Shastra ka hai. Lava Matra Sadhu Sangha, Sarva Siddhi hai. So, association. Yeah, and then we take on the qualities of the person we associate with. Mm. Jitam ajita
मैंने नहीं
tada bhavata
Jitam ajita
tada bhavata
bhavata
yada bhagavatam dharmam anvadyam
yata
yata
bhagavatam
bhagavatam
dharmam
dharmam
anvadyam
anvadyam
nishkinchanaye munaya
nishkinchanaye
निष्किञ्चनाय मनुमुनया आत्म आरामा
atmaramayamapasate vargaya.
आत्मा
Atmaram
रामायमुपस्थिते उपवर्गाय
Vargaya.
O unconquerable one, when you spoke about Bhagavad Dharma, which is the uncontaminated religious system for achieving the shelter of your lotus feet, that was your victory. Persons who have no material desires, like the Kumaras, who are self satisfied sages, worship you to be liberated from material contamination. In other words, they accept the process of Bhagavad Dharma to achieve shelter at your lotus feet. As stated by Srila Rupa Goswami in Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu, Anyabilashita Shunyam Jnana Karmadi Anavritam Anukulyena Krishna Anushilanam Bhakti Ruttama. One should render transcendental loving service to the Supreme Lord Krishna favorably and without desires for material profit or gain through fruitive activities or philosophical speculation. That is called pure devotional service. So Srila Prabhupada here is explaining what is pure devotional service as per Srila Rupa Goswami, that no desire, no material desire, no desire for liberation, no desire for any mystic perfection. Only desire, how may I please Krishna? favorably. That is pure devotional service. The Narad Pancharatra also says, Sarvapadi vinirmuktam tat paratvena nirmalam rishikena rishikesha sevanam bhaktir uchyate. One should be free from all material designations and cleansed of all material contamination. He should be restored to his pure identity, in which he engages his senses in the service of the proprietor of the senses. That is called devotional service. So, free from all material designations. Okay, what are the material designations? Hmm? What are some
Indian,
of the
I am
designations?
father, I am mother, I am
Yes,
this body, I am
yes,
girl, boy.
that's right. That's right. I belong to this country, this nationality, this community. I have this position in society. All this are material designation. So one has to give up all this material designation, free from material contamination, thinking we have to get free. I am the body. Then restore to pure identity. What is one's pure identity?
I am the
I'm a
servitor
servant
of
of
Krishna.
servant of Krishna.
It's an eternal servant of Krishna. That's right. That's right. And then he's engaging his senses in the service of the Lord. So, how can we come to this position? We have to engage our senses in the service of Rishikesh, the master of the senses. Then we will be able to give up all this upadhi. We have so many of these upadhi, as you said, father, mother, belong to this country, this position. So the more we engage our senses in the service of Krishna, in the service of Rishikesh, then we can give up this upadhi and we can come to our true identity that I'm eternal servant of Krishna. This is also called Bhagavad Dharma. Without material aspirations, one should simply serve Krishna as advised in Bhagavad Gita, Narad Pancharatra, and Srimad Bhagavatam. Bhagavad Dharma is the process of religion enunciated by pure devotees, direct representatives of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, like Narad, Sukadev Goswami, and their humble servants in the disciplic succession. So, what is Bhagavad Dharma? Bhagavad Dharma, hearing, chanting, devotional service. It's um, Prabhupada is explaining, is the process of religion enunciated by pure devotees. So, this is our real duty, this is our real dharma, to engage in service of Krishna, engage in devotional service. By understanding Bhagavad Dharma, one immediately becomes free from the material contamination. Living entities who are part and parcel of the Supreme Personality of Godhead are loitering in this material world, suffering. Loitering, Prabhupada uses the word loitering, means wasting time. And in that loitering, what we are doing? We are suffering. So when they are instructed by the Lord Himself about Bhagavad Dharma and they adopt it, that is victory for the Lord, for He then reclaims these fallen souls. A devotee following the principles of Bhagavad Dharma feels very much obligated to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He can understand the difference between life without Bhagavad Dharma and life with Bhagavad Dharma, and thus he ever remains obliged to the Lord, taking to Krishna consciousness and bringing fallen souls to Krishna consciousness is victory for Lord Krishna. So just now, the Sneha, you asked the question that
Yeah.
is it Krishna's mercies that some people take it up and some don't? Well, it's because the devotee, he is taking up the cause of Krishna. Of course, it's Krishna's desire that each and every one of us come back to him. That's the reason he keeps coming. He came 5,000 years ago, gave us Bhagavad Gita. He said, surrender unto me. People didn't understand how to surrender. So he came again as Lord Chaitanya. gave us the chanting of the holy name. He said, okay, surrender means you chant Hare Krishna. This is how you surrender. He's teaching us. And then the devotees, the followers of Lord Chaitanya, they are seeing that this is the heart of Krishna, that Krishna wants us to come back to him. Krishna says that who gives this knowledge to others is very dear to me. So understanding Krishna's desires, the devotees, what they are doing, they are also giving this knowledge to everyone, encouraging everyone to take up Krishna consciousness, to go back home. So mercy of Guru and Krishna, mercy of devotee and Krishna, because it is Krishna's desire. And the devotee takes up this, that I will fulfill Krishna's desire and I will spread Krishna consciousness. Now, one is not able to accept it immediately. Again, as we said, depends on one's desire. You know, may take time for someone, whereas someone may be very easy to take it up. Someone is very eagerly waiting to receive this knowledge. Someone not yet, different types of soils, you know. But ultimately, we are all parts and parcels of Krishna. Does that make it more clear?
Yeah. I didn't understand the one it mentioned something about the Kumaras earlier
Which
in
Kumara?
the Kumaras, it said in
Where?
the purport. No, not in this, in the beginning. Yeah, here something it said.
Hmm. Okay, here,
Yeah.
Citraketu is saying that Bhagavad Dharma is, this is what the religious system is: devotional service, hearing and chanting about the Lord, to surrender to the lotus feet of the Lord. Now, persons who have no material desires, like the Kumaras, who are self satisfied sages, worship you to be liberated from material contamination.
Okay.
The Kumaras, they are already liberated
Liberated.
personalities.
Okay.
Yeah, they have no material desire, and yet they worship Krishna. They are attracted to hearing and chanting about Krishna, to get them, to get association with Krishna, to, you know, to have this relationship with Krishna. So this is what he's saying. Someone may have no material desires, but yet they want to hear and chant about Krishna. To have this relationship with Krishna. Savai pumsam paro dharmo yato bhakti radhokshache ahaituki apratihata yayatma suprasidati. The supreme occupation dharma for all humanity is that by which men can attain to loving devotional service unto the transcendent Lord. Such devotional service must be unmotivated and uninterrupted in order to completely satisfy the self. Bhagavatam 1.2.6. Therefore, Srimad Bhagavatam is the pure transcendental process of religion. So, Savai Pumsam Paro Dharma. What is the highest dharma? What is the highest dharma? That
Engage
is,
in loving emotions.
yes, devotional service. That's right. And this devotional service must be unmotivated, means pure devotional service. No more material desire, no more desire for liberation, no more desire for mystic perfection. And uninterrupted means 24/7. And in that position, the soul, the living entity, is completely satisfied, completely peaceful. He's in love with Krishna. He has no lamentation, he has no hankering. He just has love for Krishna. That's how he's able to do it. So, Bhagavad Dharma, hearing and chanting, that is Bhagavad Dharma. From Bhagavatam, chanting the holy names. So, here Citraketu Maharaj is saying that Bhagavad Dharma is what actually purifies, which brings satisfaction to our heart. People who have no material desires also, they also want to worship you, get shelter of your lotus feet. And how to achieve shelter at your lotus feet? devotional service, Bhagavad Dharma, hearing and chanting. So by hearing and chanting, we can get shelter of the lotus feet of Krishna. Surrender begins when we chant Hare Krishna. Comments?
Yeah.
All good?
Yeah.
So we go on.
Yeah.
Vishama matirna yatra nirnam.
Vishamatina yatra nirnam.
Tvam aham iti mama taveti cha yad anyatra.
Tvam aham
Aham
iti
iti
mama
mama
taveti
taveti
yat
cha yat
anyatra.
anyatra.
Vishama dhiya rachitoya.
Vishamadhiya
Vishamadhiya
rachitoya.
rachitoya.
Sahi avishuddha shaishnur adharma bahulaha.
Sahi
Sahi avishuddha
avishuddha
lashaini
shainur
adharma
adharma bahula.
bahulaha.
Being full of contradictions, all forms of religion, but Bhagavad Dharma work under conceptions of fruitive results and distinctions of you and I, and yours and mine. The followers of Srimad Bhagavatam have no such consciousness. They are all Krishna conscious, thinking that they are Krishna's and Krishna is theirs. There are other low class religious systems which are contemplated for the killing of enemies or the gain of mystic power, but such religious systems, being full of passion and envy, are impure and temporary. Because they're full of envy, they're full of irreligion. So Citraketu Maharaj is saying that there are some types of religion which are disguised as religion, but actually they're not the highest religious principle. There will be still discrimination in them, you and me. There's difference, yours and mine. There may be envy. That's why at Bhagavatam, very beginning, it says that all types of cheating religion is thrown out. Bhagavatam is dealing only with pure devotional service. That is Bhagavad Dharma. There is no cheating religion. That's why Bhagavatam is the highest religious principle. The second verse itself at the beginning of Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 1, Text 2, says the Kaitava Dharma is all been thrown out of Bhagavatam. Bhagavad Dharma has no contradictions. Conceptions of your religion and my religion are completely absent from Bhagavad Dharma. Bhagavad Dharma means following the orders given by the Supreme Lord Bhagavan, as stated in Bhagavad Gita. Sarva dharman parityagya mamekam sharanam vraja. God is one and God is for everyone. Therefore, everyone must surrender to God. That is the pure conception of religion. Whatever God orders constitute religion. Dharmam tu sakshat bhagavad pranitam. In Bhagavad Dharma, there is no question of what you believe and what I believe. Everyone must believe in the Supreme Lord and carry out his orders. You know, we may say, oh, this is our belief. In this, we do this because this is our faith. This is our belief. But our belief, our faith has nothing to do with the absolute truth. The absolute truth is the absolute truth. You can't change the absolute truth. Yeah? Absolute truth is that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He's giving us these instructions in Bhagavad Gita. Srimad Bhagavatam is full of descriptions of his pastimes with his devotees. So, everyone must believe in the Supreme Lord and carry out his orders. Anukulyena Krishna Anushilanam. Whatever Krishna says, whatever God says, should be directly carried out. That is Dharma, religion. So that is our duty. It is everyone's duty. It's the duty of every human being, as we were reading yesterday. You know, that worship to the Supreme Lord is the duty of every human being. Is the highest occupational duty. Savai pumsam paro dharmo. The highest occupational duty is to engage in devotional service, because we are all parts and parcels of Krishna. So it's our duty to surrender to Him. It's our duty to revive our relationship with Him. Krishna is saying, just surrender unto me. This is the last word in Bhagavad Gita. Just surrender unto me. So if one is actually Krishna conscious, he cannot have any enemies, since his only engagement is to induce others to surrender to Krishna or God. How can he have enemies? So one who has actually understood, yes, I'm part and parcel of Krishna. Everyone else is also part and parcel of Krishna. Krishna wants each of us to surrender unto him. So then the devotee takes up on himself to spread Krishna's word, to spread Krishna's mission. So he is encouraging everyone to take up Krishna consciousness. He's seeing everyone equally. He does not see anyone as any enemy. He sees everyone as part and parcel of God. If one advocates the Hindu religion, the Muslim religion, the Christian religion, this religion or that religion, there will be conflicts. History shows that the followers of religious systems, without a clear conception of God, have fought with one another. There are many instances of this in human history, but systems of religion that do not concentrate upon service to the Supreme are temporary and cannot last for long because they are full of envy. So religion means to surrender to God, to love God. The highest religion is to love God. And that each and every one of us is a part and parcel of God. Then what we are calling religion, Hindu religion, Muslim religion, or Christian religion, that is faith, because people can change from one faith to another. But what is actually religion is to love God. So there are many activities directed against such religious systems, and therefore one must give up the idea of my belief and your belief. Everyone should believe in God and surrender unto Him. That is Bhagavad Dharma. So God is one, and there is no one equal to or greater than Him. And we are all part and parcel of God. And we need to follow God's words. Bhagavad Dharma is not a concocted sectarian belief, for it entails research to find how everything is connected with Krishna. Ishavasyam idam sarvam. So in fact, it's not, Bhagavad Dharma is not meant for only a particular set of people in a particular place at a particular time. No, it's universal. It's for each and every one of us. Because each and every one of us are part and parcel of God. Each of us have a relationship with Krishna. According to the Vedic injunctions, Sarvam Kalav Idam Brahma. Brahman, the Supreme, is present in everything. Everything is situated on Brahman. In Brahman, what is Brahman? Is the light which is coming from Krishna's body. And we are seeing this material world. Material world is also situated on the Brahman. The spiritual world is also on the Brahman. The Brahman is everywhere. The light, sunshine goes everywhere. Like that, Brahman is going everywhere. Even material world is on the Brahman. And this Brahman is the light coming from Krishna's body. So everything belongs to Krishna. Bhagavad Dharma captures this presence of the Supreme. Bhagavad Dharma does not consider everything in the world to be false, because everything emanates from the Supreme, nothing can be false. Everything has some use in the service of the Supreme. For example, we are now dictating into a microphone and recording on a dictating machine, and thus we are finding how the machine can be connected to the Supreme Brahman. Since we are using this machine in the service of the Lord, it is Brahman. So Prabhupada is saying, because he used to speak into the dictaphone, and then somebody else would type it. So he had he had his microphone, his dictaphone. So he's using it in the service of Krishna. So it becomes spiritual. So material things, when used in the service of Krishna, become spiritual. This is the the process of how we can change the material to spiritual. Anything material which is used in service of Krishna becomes spiritual. That's why for the pure devotee, this material world is also spiritual world, because he sees it connected to Krishna. He's using it for service of Krishna. And what happens when we think that something does not belong to Krishna, then that is material, because we are seeing a difference. We are taking away Krishna from it. That's how it becomes material. We are not able to understand that it has a relationship with Krishna. That is Maya, when we see things separated from Krishna. So this is the meaning of Sarvam Khalam Idam Brahma. Everything is Brahman because everything can be used for the service of the Supreme Lord. Nothing is mithya, false. Everything is factual. So Srila Prabhupada is saying everything can be used in Krishna's service. Our phones, our laptops, our whatever, houses, our bodies, utensils, everything can be used in service of Krishna, and then everything becomes spiritual. So nothing is false. Why nothing is false? Because it's coming from Krishna. How can it be false? It's coming from Krishna. It's factual. It's a fact. It's a fact that we are right now in the body. There is this last paragraph. I don't know if you all want to stop or you all want to continue.
I think we can stop.
Yes.
Okay. All right then.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And we are going to continue tomorrow. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila
Jai.
Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare